What's up, everybody? Welcome back to D's Notes. I'm Andy, and we've got some orders in, so we're gonna pump through them quick and get them out into the world for sale. Sometimes they've been taping these, sometimes they have not. So this is how they come. Looks like a hide and om order. Fantastic. Hope everybody's doing all right and ready for the fall temperatures. Right on top, 1934 500 and AU 55. It's a nice note. A little bit more value here in this order. 1934A and XF40. Small internal tear. See if we can spot that quick. Oh, it's right over here. Alright, moving on. The film they put on here doesn't allow the camera to focus up close. So 1934A 500 choice VF35. Nice note. Here's the 34A San Francisco VF35. Also just a nice note. Nice original. A ugly 1934A VF25. Some, yeah, very circulated right here. Even has the beginning of a small edge split. So definitely was folded a lot in its lifetime. 1934A 500 XF45. Just really PQ for the grade on that note. 1934A 500 VF30 details. Probably going to have some minor edge damage and pinholes. Closed pinholes. Riddled with pinholes right here. A little bit of an edge tear right there too. 1934 500 VF30. Just nice original note also. That's that for that order. These they just came in, so you're getting them straight from the FedEx truck. Who would have guessed it? Not me. Next up, get these cut open. Get all the packaging out. Ooh, there's some more expensive stuff too. Get these boxes and whatnot out of the way. All right, right off the bat, 1400 St. Louis Federal Reserve note. The Benji, really nice note. Nothing distracting. Really nice face. Face is up, amazing. Then right behind it, 1914 Hundo from Atlanta, VF25. Also faces up very nice. 1914 Cleveland Red Seal. This is a 835B, so AU50. Also just a really fresh original note. 1891 $5 Treasury in AU50 grade. Partially trimmed. Yeah, you can see it up here in that margin. Ray Charles cut this one. Then we have 1923 5. They call this the porthole note with Lincoln, VF25. Also just a nice original note. 1881 large brown seal, one of my favorite notes. CU63. A lot of times you won't see EPQs on these notes due to minor paper toning on the corners and the edges. So, and that's kind of what's going on with this note. It just has a little bit of toning around the edges, but still, nonetheless, super fresh, super original. And then a 1901 $10 Bison in VF25. Has a small edge tear, which if I was betting, it's in the bottom margin is normally where they end up. Nope, this was at the top. It's right here. Really tough to see. It's through the E and the. Note really looks like a VF30, so here's a note where you can get a note for discounted price that has really nice buffalo. This is one thing I tell everybody when buying this note. Try to buy a note where Lewis and Clark and the buffalo all have a really good look, because the obverse of the note is probably what attracts the majority of buyers. Okay, that was done. We have 3 short orders and then 1 bulk maybe. Try to just blaze through it. I have to be out of here just a smidge early today. Have to take the dog to see the veterinarian. You know, normal life stuff. Non-note stuff. It's amazing. I have things I do outside of notes. All right. Next up, here is an immaculate grade for this type, but this is a VF25 PPQ $1 rainbow. Super tough note, and it's PPQ. Very original, very fresh. Moving on, the 1869-2 in VF30. You can see some of the fibers from the printing showing up through this left side over here. Some of the as-made ink from touching other sheets. Also a very nice original piece. 1899 $2 silver in Unk 64. Great looking note. The most underrated $10 silver certificate there is. This is the Tombstone note, and this one is absolutely gorgeous with a perfectly intact tomb. This note to me grades more on the 30 level than it does the 25 level. So definitely has 30 eye appeal. It does have a little bit of chatter through the portrait and a few other areas on the note, but for the most part, this definitely has 30 eye appeal level. You could ask a premium for that note. Here's another Tombstone. This is the 1908 series. This is a fine 15. Just an honest circulated note. I mean, this note's gorgeous. Has all the eye appeal. Definitely intact. 1928 $100 gold certificate in VF30. Pretty hard fold line through the center of the note. Then we have this note here, Liberty, Missouri, which doesn't come up for sale very often and is a customer of mine's note, so it will be going back to him as soon as I get the paperwork done. But a little bit of minor staining on the obverse right here. This would be from a wallet or being in contact with something that the note actually rubbed on when it was folded. Okay, now time for some quick bulk, and we'll get this video uploaded and out to you guys to watch. So they mark all the bulk boxes, AA, BB. So we'll try to do them in order. Quick shout out to the people that stopped me at the A&A and said hi. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last video or not. Huge shout out to Heritage Auctions for sitting with me and going over some of my customers' bigger consignments that we're doing. Some absolute extremely rare gems that we consigned for one of my customers. So big collection. All right, a quick story about these two notes. I found these in a group of just random silver certificates that were sent to me to purchase. I called the guy and told him, hey, I found these two mismatched serials. He's like, what? And I said, I'll pay you accordingly. And he said, that's wild, because I don't even look for that sort of stuff when I buy notes. So just to show you, these were purchased raw. They're still out there, but they're pretty obvious. 370 and 470. Mismatched serial, graded 65Q. Here is this one's 554, 544. They actually notated up here. Mismatched serial, gem 66. This was in a CGA holder. I cut it out. I felt it was accurate for the grade. It was also in a 63Q holder, so that just shows you that there are some CGAs out there that are accurate. Consolidated Fund, $500. XF40. $2 Republic of Texas and Choice VF35. Minor ink erosion. A lot of people don't understand, but the ink that they used back then had metal in it, and it would oxidize over time, and it would just leave a little bit of hole, some little holes, or it would bleed through the paper with time. So that's just the, time working its way. $500 Consolidated Fund of Texas Choice AU58. Hard corner down here, otherwise it would be 100% uncirculated. And we have a Government of Texas $5 VF25, serial number 76. So that's pretty cool. Then we have a Confederate 500 T64. Pretty good paper color, I must say. It's not super red and it's not super light pink, but it's just the right color to give you the contrast that's required to see the real features of the note. Problem free. 1918 $1 Federal Reserve Banknote of Chicago in 55Q. A little bit of wonky cut on the back. A little bit of a little bit of misalignment. Not bad though. 1899 1 Friedberg 227 Lion Street. This is AU55. Another super tough note. This is a 1869 $10 legal tender. Really good color for the grade. Fine 12. Comment free. This is probably, of all the issues, the 10 to me is probably the toughest to find in affordable grade range. So here is a 1869 legal tender and Choice Fine 15. Also problem free. And then a 1914 San Francisco Red Seal 843B and VF30, also problem free. Just a real fresh off the street note. Some of these notes will make it to our website. Some of these notes are actually sold the minute they get back. The mismatched serial numbers will probably make it to our website, web store, whatnot store. Some of the better large size type Like I said, some of it will make it to the eBay stores. Some of it is already sold the minute it gets back from grading. It's nothing personal. It's just we have customers and they have a want list and a wish list just like everybody else does. So we try to accommodate our customers first. Right now, large size type notes they're absolute hen's teeth to buy. I'm probably noticing an uptick in national banknote sales just because I don't know if it's the lack of large size type that's available, that people are just buying nationals, or if we really have people that are starting to trend nationals. So, 1923 silver cert, 35Q. Here's one in 64Q, 40 PPQ. Some of these lower grades are just more budget friendly for folks, so that's kind of why we do them. 237 and 55Q. Here's one in just 35. Here's another 64Q. And they're not a cut sheet or anything. They're just different serial numbers. So 1899 Black Eagle, VF20, just nice, honest original. Something, this is a note just everybody loves. It's iconic. Portraits of Lincoln and Ulysses S. Grant at the bottom. Here's one in fine 15. Another fine 15. VG10, problem free. Fine 12, problem free. Here's a mini porthole, 258, Friedberg 258. Just like, again, honest, fine 15. Here's one in VF 25. Another 258. This one does have pinholes. I could see them on the obverse, just showing you guys. It's from being attached to a document. It even stained it a little bit right there. Just pinholes don't bother me, partially because I know how the notes were used and how they were stored throughout the, to me, the fact that the note stood the test of time and it's still in, I mean, other than 4 pinholes up here, this note is just amazing. It stood the test of time. It didn't rot away. 1918 1 and AU53. One fold here, a little bit of handling. 1907 legal tender and fine 15. A nice lovable grade, problem free. Then you got something that looks like this, good 6 on a 1901. Edge damage, right? Not so much here or here, but right here. Nope. FR40, VF25, also a great note. It's actually one of my favorite notes. I think it's also very underrated, problem free. Seems like a lot of them are stained or have rust. Super nice VF25. If I had to point out, just by looking at these notes, I feel like they're just a touch conservative, which is great. It means you're getting, that note looks like a VF30 and it's in a 25 holder. Great. Here's a really nice 35. Bright paper, bright color. 35 with a hard fold through the portrait. Minor edge tear. Sometimes it just is what it is on notes. I've noticed it's much easier to sell a minor problem in a holder than it is without a holder. So another nice VF25. Little speck of something right there. Oh, it's on the holder. All right. I literally take it off with my fingers. Somebody sneezed on it. Yummy. VF20. Try to speed this up a little bit. Here's a 2. A lot of people call these bracelet backs. I don't have a name for some of these. You know, they call this one the sawhorse, obviously, because of, you know, VF25. Again, bracelet back, comment free. This note is absolutely horrendous. It's like uncirculated, stained, damaged. It's just too bad. This is what happens when you don't store your notes correctly. Oh, discoloration and edge damage. The note is really like uncirculated with water damage, but it's too bad. Choice Unk 63. Here's a fun note. Minneapolis. There's like cardboard stuff all over them. Minneapolis VF20. Move this pile. We have New York Choice Fine 15. Just nice, problem free. There's a 20 and VF25. Where else can you get a note that has a steamship? Well, it's probably not steam, it's probably like coal powered. But you have the 2 boats, the tug and the steamer or ocean liner, Statue of Liberty, an airplane, a locomotive, and a Model T. This is just one of my absolute favorite reverses for notes. Another Minneapolis. San Francisco, Burke McAdoo. Problem free. Richmond in VG8. A little tidbit. This note was in a PMG Fine 15 holder and they would not downgrade it. So I downgraded it for them. Friend, Nebraska. Everybody needs a friend. I believe this might be a Discovery 1875 series. If Cody's watching, he'll be able to tell me. But this is a About Good 3 1875 Discovery denomination and type for the bank. I believe they have original series that are known. But Pequot, Ohio, missing the top left corner. This note came to me wadded up in a little teeny tiny ball, so we were able to get it laid out a little bit better. Serial number 400. So pretty cool. Fun little serial number 97 million. You know, 3 over 3. Yeah, 97 million. Oh, I see. 97 million. Oh, it says it on the holder. It's a rollover pair, right? It is. It's a rollover pair. That's neat. Ain't that neat? Just some fancy 99 with 6s. 4 with some solid 7s. Better block, WA block for 28A series is better. I didn't know what to do with them other than to grade them and sell them slabbed. I tried to sell a couple raw and they didn't work out. So 34A Chicago, dark green seal. Little run of these in 64. Fun typeset to put together is a small size $5 set. Lots of different variations and varieties and seal colors and series. Very fun. Mule, non-mule. You could do late finish plates. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with the $5 denom. But mostly looking like they're all going to be 64. Oh, here's a gem. A little bit better margins. But looking like they're just notes. Very friendly, pocketbook friendly, early entry collector note. So 50, 60 bucks gets you a nice example for a typeset if you're building a small size typeset. Like I said, it's one of the funnest ones to put together because you have numerical, then you have blue seal, red seal, then you have 34s, and then 53s, and then 1950s, and then it just keeps going. Plus you have filled stars and then non-filled stars. It's really a budget-friendly typeset if you were to build one. You don't have to get all the districts, just find nice examples. And it'll be a respectable little set. So hope everybody's doing well. Appreciate you watching my video. Like, share, subscribe. Catch me on Polar Currency here probably in the next couple weeks. We'll be shooting another video. And with that, hope everyone's doing great, and stay safe, stay positive, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.